Right, here we have a calculator question to do with histograms. It's not actually got so much to do with histograms, it's got more to do with sort of number crunching really. So it tells you you've got a histogram, you've got your frequency density up the side and your time across the bottom, but what they're actually asking us to work out is the percentage of passengers who had to wait for more than 1 hour. So if you look along the bottom, 60 minutes is from here onwards, so therefore all of these are for more than an hour. So it's 2 of my blocks. But to be able to work out a percentage, I need to know what I've got in all of my blocks so that I can then divide them and times by 100%. So I need to work out the area of every single block, add them all up to get the total area of all of my blocks, and then also I'm going to need to know these two separately so that I can see what I had that's over the hour. Now, due to the fact there's not a lot of space out the bottom, I would actually use drawing on your diagram. So I'm going to write the area of each of my parts of my histogram inside the block. So the first one, I've got a frequency density of 12 and a width of 20. So could do it in my head, but I've got my calculator, so I might as well use it. So 12 times by 20 gives me an area of 240 for that first one. Next block, you've got to look at your scale quite carefully up the side. It's going from 10 straight up to 11, and I've got 5 little squares separating, so that means it must be 10.8. So therefore I've got 10.8 times by a width of 10, so 10.8 times by 10 gives me 108 as the area of the next block. Carrying on to the next block, I've got a height of 7 and a width, and again carefully look at your scales. I'm halfway between 40 and 50, so it must be 45, so 30 up to 45 is a difference of 15. So therefore I've got 7 times by 15 to give me an area of 105 for that block there. Next one, again I'm going now from 45 up to 60, so again that's 15, and this time the height is 5. So 5 times by 15 gives me an area of 75 for that block there. Now I'm on to my final two. So I've got a height here of 1.8 and I'm going from 60 all the way up to 90, so it's going across 30. So 1.8 times by 30 gives me 54 as the area of that bar there. And then the final one goes from 60 to 120, so across 30 again, and it's up 3 little squares, which must mean 0.6. So 0.6 times by 30 gives me an area of 18. So over 60 minutes, which is over my hour, I've got 54 and 18, which when I add them together gives me 72. And then my total, so all of them added together, and even though I've written them up the top, I would write them again down here so it's clear as to what I'm doing, just in case I make any errors. So 240 plus 108 plus 105 plus 75 plus 54 plus 18 gives me 600 in total. So to work out as a percentage, just like a test percentage, I've got 72 out of my total of 600, and I need to then times that by 100. So 72 divided by 600 times by 100 gives me 12%. So 12% of my passengers had to wait for more than 1 hour.